alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome to Legal Advice Show on LB24. This is our first show. We intend to come before you every Monday between 7 and 8 p.m. এটা আজকে আমরা প্রথম শো লিগাল অ্যাডভাইস ইন্ট্রোডাক্টরি শো এর লাগে আজকে আমরা একটু ইনফর্মাল ওয়েতে আপনার সাথে আমরা আলোচনা করব and I just wanted to tell everybody that আমরা নাম নিশ্চয় দেখরা আমি আহমেদ মালিক আর আমার সাথে আছেন আমার কলিগ Barrister Fiaz Hussain. Fiaz, welcome to this show.
Thank you.
This is a new experience on digital media and hope we can share our experiences with our viewers and also gain mutual benefits.
Of course, yes. I mean, it is a delight to be here. I'm humbled by this occasion. And like Mr. Malik said, that this is the first show that's being aired, and hopefully over time, as viewers become familiar with the format and what's going on, they can text their questions or leave comments for us to answer, and we will be happy to assist them.
Well, as hopefully আপনারা যারা জয়েন করবা আমরারে অনেকে আমরা চিনি পার্সোনালি বা অনেকে চিনি না আমরা আশা করবো যে আপনারা কোয়েশ্চন আপনারা আমরারে টেক্সট করতে পারবা যে টেক্সট নাম্বার একটা দেখরা স্ক্রিনের মাঝে ও নম্বরে টেক্সট করতে পারবা আমরা ফরিয়া কোয়েশ্চন আপনারা আনসার দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবো আর এট দ্য সেম টাইম ফেসবুকও কমেন্টসের মাধ্যমে আপনারা আমরারে কোয়েশ্চন করতে পারবা you can as I said the viewers can text the questions as well as send a question online on Facebook as a comment. Let's talk about the areas that we want to cover, Fiaz. We are a barrister chambers, we work at the barrister chambers and we deal with many areas of law and we know that people have many legal problems and even today our topic is general legal advice. We want to see what sorts of problems people want to share with us so that we can try to focus on those areas. But to start with, I think we have to tell our viewers the areas that we deal with mainly. Going to
I think we start off with immigration, but that seems to be a hot topic. So if you could probably just give a few words on immigration, and then I'll do a bit of the general civil litigation and family.
I think immigration is an area there will always be some questions, and whenever I'm on TV, there is even though I don't want to talk about immigration at some point, I always get questions on immigration. And I don't mind at all if anyone has a question on immigration law, any aspect of immigration law. I have over the years gained, thanks God, I've been in practice for over 27 years now.
Right.
Hopefully I can share my experiences and try to give some advice to our viewers. I think the other areas that people don't see on TV often on this kind of legal shows we would like to cover, such as to do with problems, litigation issues. Often the lawyers appear on TV but they don't get an opportunity to discuss. We would like to deal with those because we are dealing with a lot of litigation. আপনারা যারা court case আছে civil litigation mainly business related with the money related with the partnership, property related with the any other matters যাদের কোর্ট কেস আছে এবং কোনো পার্টিকুলার কোনো ইস্যু আপনারা কনসার্ন জানতে চান please feel free to call us or send us a text or share your concern, share your problems with us. আমরা আপনার যদিও ফেস টু ফেস অ্যাডভাইস দিলে যেভাবে দেওয়া যায় এরকম দেওয়া যেত না, তারপর আমরা যতটুকু সম্ভব solution দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব within the limited scope and limited time. May I request everyone, please do not call us, please. I'm receiving calls. I hope you don't mind. Please just send us a text. At the moment, আমরা টেক্সট ছাড়া আজকে লাইভ আপনার টেলিফোনে এই মুহূর্তে আলাপ করার সম্ভব হইতো না। We would really appreciate if you just text us or call us another time after the show. Now, other thing, Fiaz, we have to look at the problems that people face in terms of legal issues. Family, there are a lot of family cases in which we deal with. You got domestic violence issues.
Yes, I mean, in terms of family, broadly speaking, what we as a chambers have a particular expertise in is making non-molestation orders or resisting non-molestation orders. So, unfortunately, if you are in such circumstances where someone in your family member, either husband or wife or siblings, can no longer cohabitate and can no longer live in a cordial environment, then the court does provide a process for them to monitor the situation such that they can put in place steps so that they no longer interfere with your day-to-day life.
Well, injunction means that to prevent the other party from assaulting or molesting or otherwise
whatever
interfering.
The issue is.
Yeah. The apart from non-molestation, often people have issues with divorce, how to deal with divorce, how to defend a divorce, the grounds for divorce. People have matrimonial problems, and they need to know how to deal with it. And nowadays, for divorce, legal aid is not even available for a lot of people. So often people are doing acting in person or going to some solicitors or some lawyers for advice. But we can give you some advice in that respect if anybody wishes us to.
Advice and also
advice on
representation in court as well.
Yeah,
that's what we could do.
Now, children matters. We always will deal with children's contract, childcare issues, and you've recently dealt with some financial remedies.
Yes, this was.
Do you want to talk about briefly about that, your recent experience?
Sure. This was a financial dispute. Typically nowadays, when it comes to divorce, it's not really a contested issue. On the whole, by and large, the reasons for divorce is based on unreasonable behavior, and the other party who is receiving the divorce petition doesn't really contest it. The key issue after the divorce has been sorted out is what happens with the financial pot. So one particular case that I dealt with the other day, the financial pot consisted of the former matrimonial home. That was the only asset. It was mortgage free, and the agreed value was £340,000. So it was a substantial amount that was that needed to be distributed. So in this case, the husband he had certain disabilities. He could not which prevented him from working, and the mother, she was working part-time, but she was also looking after the children. One of the children was under 18. So the court has a particular regard to children. It's one of the foremost and primary factors that the court tends to investigate and to ensure that the upbringing and the welfare and the stability of the children is not compromised. um, prior to 18. So in this case, what happened was, what the court decided was that because the wife had been looking after the children since the couple separated, they had separated for about a few years, and because the wife had been looking after and maintaining the children and would continue to do so until the youngest child reached 18, the court determined that it was a fine balance between the factor that I just mentioned and the fact that the husband would be deprived of the financial pot up until the youngest daughter reached 18, which is in about 3 years' time. So how the court decided
So
this,
there are two children. One is 18 already.
one is 18 and one, so she was considered to be an adult.
Adult, yeah.
And the other was the minor.
I see.
The minor was, well, she was under 16.
Is the wife employed or she?
She was working part-time. She was working part-time, but again, this was a long marriage, and both parents were in their late 50s.
I see.
So there's various factors that the court looks at in terms of the history of the marriage, the contributions towards the matrimonial home, who had paid what, and the ongoing needs. So this was a needs type of case. It wasn't really a maintenance.
Ancillary relief matters. Court definitely look at needs of the parties. From my experience as well, needs is a primary factor for
Yes.
for courts to consider, and also of course contributions
That had been done previously
between
that
the parties
weighs into it.
themselves.
Yes, and also the previous life that they
Conduct sometimes.
that they had before. I think the microphone slipped.
It's okay. We'll get used to it. Hopefully.
Yes. So this was a needs-based case as opposed to a maintenance, where some ongoing maintenance, that wasn't really an issue.
So how, in terms of final judgment, how did the court addressed it?
Yes. Well, as it was a finely balanced with the factors that I've just played out, what the court decided was, because the husband was going to be there was a delay for the husband to receive his matrimonial sum.
Yes.
Right, he got more than the court departed from the rule of equality, and he got about 53% of the matrimonial proceeds, but deferred until the youngest child finished her secondary A-level education.
I see. And so the total pot was how much?
340,000.
340,000. Well, almost
about 180, 170, 180.
Yeah, close to 50-50 anyway. 53-47.
Yes, that's what it was.
Well, dear viewers, আপনারা শুনতে পারছেন, আমরা জাস্ট একটু ডিসকাস করছি একটা লাইভ একটা ম্যাটার। আমার কলিগ তাই কোর্টও রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছিল ক্লায়েন্ট রিসেন্টলি। এরকম আরও অনেক কেস অনেকেরও থাকতে পারে। আপনারা ফ্যামিলি অ্যাসেটস নিয়ে হাজব্যান্ড অ্যান্ড ওয়াইফের মাধ্যমে মাঝে ডিসপিউট থাকতে পারে, ঝগড়া থাকতে পারে। আপনারা যদি এরকম কোনো কোয়েশন থাকে, প্রশ্ন থাকে, আপনারা আমরা উইদাউট হেজিটেশন করতে পারেন, টেক্সট করিয়া অথবা কমেন্টসের মাধ্যমে ফেসবুকও আমরা আপনারা যতটুকু সম্ভব ক্লিয়ার গাইডেন্স দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। The other thing, Fiaz, let's talk about another areas of law, especially we have a lot of problems with landowner tenant and property related matters. Often people come to us seeking, sometimes tenants come saying that landlords harass them. Sometimes the landlords, often landlords come to say, I want to get out of this tenant for non-payment of rent or a breach of tenancy agreements.
Yes.
So we do a lot of them. যদি আপনার এরকম সিচুয়েশন থাকে, please feel free to communicate with us, send us a text, and we will be able to help you. The other thing, we the chambers, what we do is another matter. Well, quite a lot of work we've done recently in wills and probate matter, like a contentious probate. Contentious probate, did you say something about the probate, a little bit so that we.
Yes, I mean probate by and large deals with the division or the distribution of the will once the person is deceased. The kind of case that we've actually quite recently, we've dealt with the case where the mother, for whatever reason, had written out one of the children out of the will. And again, there were I believe two freehold properties that were up for play. And the mother then passed away, and there were, prior to and post the mother's passing away, some bitter disputes amongst the family. And under the certain law, the Inheritance Act, which protects certain children, 1975 Act, what that says is, despite the intention of the actual person who made the will, if something has been sold, or if something has been if something has been given away in a will, even though the intention of the person granting the will is not to distribute assets to, for example, one child.
Well, generally, the general concept is about the will is that if wishes of the deceased must be respected, but the exception is the exception is if one of the under the under the law one of the parties, like a child of the family of the deceased, they feel aggrieved, that their father or mother haven't given them anything, left them out basically. And they can seek some. They can seek make a claim in court.
Yes, they can
against those who have been benefited.
Yeah, they can seek for the reasonable maintenance from the pot. They can do that, but it has to be within 6 months of the deceased passing away. So that's the key. So there is a very strict time limit that needs to be entertained by the person who's making such an applicant.
I think the court has discretion to allow. This is something we need to look at.
No, this is fixed by statute. It's 6 months. Once the deceased passes away, then they only have within 6 months they have to bring it.
Provision.
We're not talking about probate as such. We're talking about this maintenance issue. If they want to bring a case against someone.
Okay. Probate, obviously, that is an application to the court has to be made. There are two types of probate. One is contentious and one is non-contentious.
Yeah, we deal with contentious just now.
The non-contentious is if somebody, if I just speak in Bangla a little bit so that our viewers can understand, those who cannot understand English, or jara Bangla easy feel Horoin. As far as I'm concerned, I can speak fluent Bangla, both proper Bangla as well as Sileti, so I don't mind speaking to you either. আমি যা বলছিলাম about probate, এটা হলো মারা যাওয়ার পরে যদি কোনো উইল থাকে তাহলে এটা এক্সিকিউটর যিনি থাকবেন, এক্সিকিউটর has to apply to the court for grant of probate. এবং কোর্টে এই উইলের উপর ভিত্তি করে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন করতে হবে। দ্যাট মিনস দ্যাট উইল অনুযায়ী একজনের অ্যাসেট যা আছে এটাকে এস্টেট বলে, এটা ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন হবে। তো কোর্ট থেকে পাওয়ার গ্রান্ট আনতে হবে এবং এটার নামই বলে গ্রান্ট অফ প্রোবেট। আর যদি কোনো উইল না থাকে তাহলে এটাকে বলে অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন। অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনের জন্য এটাকে বলে লেটার্স অফ অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনের জন্য অ্যাপ্লিকেশন করতে হয়। আর যদি কোনো উইল না রেখে যায় লোকজন, কেউ যদি মারা যান, তাহলে আত্মীয়স্বজনদের মধ্যে অনেক সময় ওয়াইফ সাধারণত ম্যাক্সিমাম বেনিফিশে ওনার লাইফ টাইমের জন্য there are some certain rules. She gets most of the asset depending on how much is there in the estate. Wife has a lot of benefit, especially the wife gets, I think the limit is 250,000, first 250,000 pound of the letters of administration, the amount of sum available in an estate goes to the wife.
Yep.
আর যদি কোনো property যদি jointly own করে থাকে, if there is a property jointly owned by a couple, husband and wife, and they hold it as a joint tenants,
Yes.
then whoever is surviving, either
Yes.
husband or wife, the other one inherits automatically. So these are the issues that often arise. As we are today giving introductory information to our viewers, we are just touching on certain areas of law that viewers face on daily basis, which we would appreciate your questions, of course, on. And then আপনাদের এই সমস্ত ব্যাপারে will provide যদি অনেক সময় ফ্যামিলির মধ্যে ঝগড়া হয়, ভাই বোনদের মধ্যে ডিসএগ্রিমেন্ট হয়, এগুলো কীভাবে সেটেল করতে হয়, তো এইগুলোর ব্যাপারেও আপনাদের যদি কারো কোনো কনসার্ন থাকে, কোয়েশ্চন থাকে, প্লিজ ফিল ফ্রি টু কন্ট্যাক্ট আস ইন দ্য কামিং শোজ। আমরা যেহেতু আজকে টাচিং অন অল এরিয়াজ দ্যাট উই ইন্টেন্ড টু টক অ্যাবাউট ইন ফিউচার, আপনারা get your questions ready for us. যদি আজকের এই শোর পরেও যদি কেউ কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে চান, you can always text us on our নাম্বার আমরা যেটা দিলাম স্ক্রিনের মধ্যে দেখা যাচ্ছে, এই স্ক্রিনের এই নাম্বারে পরে টেক্সট করতে পারেন, তো কলও করা যাবে, বাট নট আনটিল উই ফিনিশ দিস শো দিস ইভিনিং। One other thing I would like to discuss is এটা একটা হিডেন একটা প্রবলেম, যেটা সাধারণত it is a bit embarrassing for some lawyers, but I would like to bring it out. যেটা হলো প্রফেশনাল নেগলিজেন্স ম্যাটার। আমরা এটার জন্য অনেকে সাফার করেন, এবং এটাকে কীভাবে, এটা একটা আমাদের সামাজিক একটা দায়িত্ব আছে। We have a social duty as well to not only legal duty, moral duty to protect the interest of general public
and your clients.
Our clients, of course, and sometimes they suffer a lot financially, and they go through a lot of stress and suffering. Now I'm talking about professional negligence by the lawyers. Now, as this is one of the areas that we specialize, and we have done a number of cases. We are still doing it a number of cases. And one particular case that we dealt with, I think you are involved with in this case as well, where we succeeded in recovering a large sum of money.
Oh, yes.
A firm of solicitors denied receiving from the client.
Yeah, deposit monies.
Deposit money. So do you talk about it briefly?
Sure. I mean, in this case, this was our client had gone to the solicitors, and she wanted to purchase a property, and the solicitor requested that, okay, fine, you can start depositing your funds with me, which will inevitably go towards the deposit. And due to that fiduciary relationship and that, that genuine and professional relationship that clients, that solicitors have with clients. But before I carry on with that, when we deal with professional negligence, it's not exclusive to just solicitors or lawyers. Again, it could be professional negligence against accountants, against architects. So we're dealing with any form of professional malpractice that has taken place. But the example that that I'm going to talk about is professional negligence against a solicitor's firm. So this individual started paying cash deposit sums up to about £60,000 was deposited, but unfortunately, being naive and being gullible, apart from about £15,000 or £20,000 which were transferred from the bank account, so it was a bank-to-bank transfer, so that was documented. All the other monies were given in cash. So it was very hard to substantiate, and the solicitor then had a defense that the monies that were given did not exist. But again, playing around with the tricks of litigation and conducting this and seeing that there was a clear breach that had taken place and a clear wrong had taken place. I think a few persuasive letters before trial we were managed to settle
Yes,
this.
so the matter was settled because we pursued this case very vigorously and very
Yes.
strongly, and then obviously they had no choice but to surrender. And
Yes.
I think if you this shows that anyone, any lawyer, whoever is working very hard for their client, especially with full clear ideas, clear knowledge, clear strategy,
Yes.
and then so that you can succeed. In this particular case, our client was very happy after us waiting for nearly 2 years almost, I think.
Yeah, above 2 years.
About 2
nearly
years
3, yeah.
from the time she instructed us, she was able to receive her money. So I just wanted to say to our viewers, আপনাদেরকে বাংলা যদি বলি আর কি, যদি আপনাদের কারো যদি কোনো ফান্ড কোথাও যদি আপনাদের আপনার লয়ার অথবা অ্যাকাউন্টে থাকে এবং ফান্ড আপনি যেমন পয়সা দিলেন ডিপোজিট ঘর কেনার জন্য, পরে আপনি এই ডিপোজিট আপনি ফেরত চাইলেন আপনার লয়ারের কাছ থেকে এবং উনি দিতে দেরি করেন অথবা না দেন অথবা বাহানা করেন, তাহলে আপনার তো অনেক দরজা খোলা আছে। One of the door is just to contact the regulatory bodies, solicit regulatory bodies অথবা legal ombudsman. The other হলো আপনারা অন্য কোনো law firm এ গিয়ে you can request them to send the money, or otherwise you pursue a legal claim. অনেক সময় দেখা যায় যে আমাদের লয়ারদের ভুল ডিসিশনের কারণে, ভুল মানে ভাবে সিদ্ধান্তের কারণে রংলি আমরা যদি কোনো কেস প্রেজেন্টেশন করার কারণে ক্লায়েন্টরা ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত হন। তো এই ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত হলে ক্লায়েন্টদের যেটা করতে হবে, আপনাদেরকে আপনাদের অধিকার আদায়ের জন্য অন্য কোনো লয়ারের কাছে যাবেন, অন্য কোনো লয়ারের কাছ থেকে লিগ্যাল অ্যাডভাইস নেবেন। যদি আপনার কেস যদি যথাযথভাবে এটা যদি চালানো যায়, যদি আপনার কেস জেনুইন থাকে, আপনার যদি প্রপার থাকে, তাহলে আপনি অবশ্যই মানে সফলকাম হবেন। এতে কোনো শাই হওয়ার কোনো রিজন আছে বলে আমি মনে করি না, কারণ দিস ইজ ইয়োর রাইটস। ফর ইয়োর রাইটস you should really be ready to seek proper legal advice. Amra in future we would like to go into other areas where the clients suffer. Generally, this is just to make people aware, and then so that people can share with us their concern, their problems, so that we can guide them and give them some advice to the best of our abilities.
Sure. Yes, and this is just a flavor.
Yeah. Now, I think another area we would be also discussing in the coming shows, for the business communities, if you are buying and selling a business, lease, or if you are transferring a property, then many issues arise. You don't know how to deal with it. অনেক নতুন ভাবে বিজনেস করতে চাচ্ছেন, you don't know how to buy a lease or how to what you require. We would definitely be able to share our experiences with our viewers. আপনাদের যদি কারো এরকম সিচুয়েশন থাকে, যদি কেউ কোনো একটা লিজ কিনবেন, কীভাবে কিনবেন, কীভাবে ট্রান্সফার করবেন, I'm sure there are a lot of other fellow lawyers are there, তারা অ্যাডভাইস করবেন। So for that you have to pay, but here if you ask a question you don't have to pay. This is absolutely free, and inshallah this is the time that we will give it. This is mutually benefited. আমাদের ব্যাপার হলো যে আমরা we are coming to you so that you know what we are doing and you know where we are, and if you need any help beyond today you can always come to us and we will try to do our best to help you. আর আপনাদের হলো আমরা আপনাদের আমাদের অভিজ্ঞতা আলোকে we can give you the best possible advice. I am a practicing barrister and I have a license to. I have the full indemnity to advise people, either in court, in my chamber, anywhere. And I can call myself Barrister Ahmed Malik. A lot of our fellow colleagues use the title, I'm afraid, wrongly. But I just wanted to say that I am absolutely confident that people can come to, if you come to us or you contact us today or next time, inshallah, we'll give you the best possible advice to the best of our abilities. আমরা যদি কোনো জিনিস আপনাদের কোয়েশ্চন যদি আমরা আজকে না দিতে পারি, then we look it up, আমরা চেক করব. It's not possible for a human being to know everything every time. We are human being ourselves, isn't it, Fiaz?
That's right. That's
yes,
right.
Yes. আমরা যখন কোনো instruction পাই solicitor firm থেকে, what we do is whenever we receive, sorry, you don't speak Bangla, so yes. sometimes we get into this Bangladeshi and English mixed. But you speak Urdu fluently, don't you?
Urdu, yes.
Yes, yes. If anybody would like to speak to Urdu or Hindi, Fiaz is more than happy to talk to people in Urdu or Hindi. And I also speak some Urdu.
Yes.
Fluently.
Yes.
Inshallah, we are multilingual, and we hope to be able to cover many communities.
Yes.
So generally speaking, today's show is about introduction, and I've seen a few calls came, but unfortunately I couldn't take the call because we are not really meant to be talking live to you today, but you can definitely send a question. Yes, I have seen some people have joined. Thank you, those people who have joined. Please spread the word. We would like to see you next time, inshallah. Today, I think we will be, coming to an end very soon. Yes. Do you want to say something before we finish today, Fiaz?
No. I think just like what Mr. Malik, just to echo what Mr. Malik said. Again, this is just to give you a flavour of the kind of things that we've done. So we initially talked about family, non-molestation, child contact, divorce, financial remedies. Then there's general contract, general civil, online money claims, ranging from professional negligence, breach of contract, etc. And then again, you have landlord-tenant issues. It could be domestic, it could be commercial, and so on and so forth. And we will continue to give further advice and give further information as the show progresses. So, but for now,
I just want to add one thing, which is we barristers were not able to deal with people directly in the past. Now we definitely. To see us, to contact us, you don't need to go through solicitors or other third parties. We are authorized to see you directly. We are authorized to deal with all aspects of your case. And here also, if any solicitors watching, you are more than welcome to talk to us about any particular areas of law that your clients have a problem and you need to seek our opinion. Please feel free to contact us. We are friendly people. We have got several barristers working with us in our chambers, and we would be very, we would welcome any solicitors with any particular issues. Or if you want us to represent your client, why not contact us, and we would be more than happy to talk to you. Initially, that will not cost you anything. We are humble by the fact that we are before you, and inshallah, we have to have our relationship. We have to build a very strong relationship with everyone in the community, as well as with this particular platform, LB24. I hope you have enjoyed your time with us, and we inshallah hope to see you in the near future. Next Monday from 7 to 8, inshallah. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Khuda Hafiz.